constructing with this project Smile of a Child.
We are coming to you from Nungamgoda Temple in the Kalaniya area.
Anda vetena nethiha navati vedana upadina hadawat langa navati Anda vetena nethiha navati vedana upadina hadawat langa navati ahasat eha maru katare diyagena betuman hat phana dena bahanak se dalvena kisi dinakadi noni vena me deshe handai pipiti meka ahasat eha maru katare diyagena betuman hat phana dena bahanak se dalvena kisi dinakadi noni vena we are the voice of the nation
Good evening. So before we start off, we have a special request to remove vehicle KB 6853. KB 6853.
යහපත් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවක් උදෙසා යහපත් ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයකු යන තේමාව මුල් කරගෙන මුළු මහා ශ්‍රී ලංකාව පුරා වෙසෙන ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් දහස් ගණනකගේ හෙට දවසේ යහපත් කිරීමේ උදෙසා හඬක් නොමැති ඔහුනට හඬක් වීමට වසර ගණනාවක් පුරා කළ සේවය ඇගයීමට සහ ඊට සහාය දුන් නන්නාකාර පරිත්‍යාගශීලීන් අගය කිරීමේ උදෙසා දින 100ක් ප්‍රජාමූල් තැන්ගය හෙවත් කමියුනිටි කිචන් තුලින් ආහාර වේල් ලක්ෂයක් පමණ සම්පූර්ණ කිරීම ඒ ඓතිහාසික දිනයේ සැමරීම සඳහා අපගේ ආරාධනාව පිළි අරගෙන අප සමග අත්වැල් බැඳගත් අපේ ශක්තියක් ඔබ සියලු දෙනා Voice Day 2022 ඉතා ගෞරවයෙන් යුතුව පිළිගනු ලබනවා.
Yes, we would like to warmly welcome all of you who have accepted our invitation to be with us today, where we celebrate 100 days of supplying 100,000 meals under the Community Kitchen Project, and to thank all of you who have been an immense help throughout the years to the Voice Foundation, where we function under the theme, Better Sri Lankans for Better Sri Lanka. We warmly welcome each and every one of you for our Voice Day 2022.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා විවිධ ජාතීන් ආගම් සම්ප්‍රදායන් පරිපූර්ණ විවිධත්වයෙන් යුතු අපූර්ව රටකි. මෙසේ අපටම ආවේනිකව පොල්තෙල් පාන දැල්වීම සඳහායි අප මේ සූදානම් වන්නේ.
Yes, we would like to invite, first of all, Reverend Dr. Dishan De Silva, founder of Voice, Moses Akash, Director, Voice Foundation, Akhil Alas, Corporate Correspondent, Rebecca Phillips, Head of Safe House, Susil Silva, Head of Elders Home, Sam, representing Iron Man, Michael David, representing all the Voice volunteers across the nations. Also, we would like to welcome Mr. Pubudu, representing all the corporates. Then also we have those who have been working in the background. So that would be Irani, representing the teams who've cooked and helped behind the scenes. Also Madhi Gauss, representing Community Kitchen volunteers. Can we have you to light the oil lamp, or rather representing the oil lamp? Also, we would like to request Viduranga Srimana to come and light the oil lamp. He was actually the first person to help us with all the legal work when the Voice actually started out. So can we have all of you to light the oil lamp? You might be wondering why we have chosen the bark of a tree as the oil lamp. The bark of the tree represents something that is dead, but we are trying to bring it back into life, like what Voice always does. So this dead tree is being given life to right now.
බොහොමත්ම ස්තුතියි.
Thank you.
ඕනෑම සුවිශේෂී ජයග්‍රහණයක විවිධ කොටස්කරුවන් සිටිනවා. සමහර අය තිරයේ ඉදිරියෙන්ද තවත් කණ්ඩායමක් තිරයේ පිටුපසද ක්‍රියා කරනවා. නමුත් අද අප ඔබට හඳුන්වා දීමට මේ උත්සාහ කරන කණ්ඩායම තිරයේ පිටුපසේ පමණක් නොවේයි මාලන්.
Yes, any major accomplishment has its stakeholders. Some contribute on the stage, while others behind the stage. But the team that we are going to introduce to you are neither in front of the stage or back of the stage. This team is actually the team that was in the kitchen. You know, they were toiling with all the food and with all the firewood, and that's the team that we are going to introduce to you next.
ඔව් මාලන්. මේ බොහෝ අය පසුගිය දින 100 ගත කළේ කුස්සිය ඇතුලේ. මේ අය දින 100 දුම් ගාගෙන දරලිපේ කාලය ගත කරපු නූතන වීරයෝ කිව්වත් මම නිවැරදි. ශ්‍රී ලංකාව පුරා ප්‍රජා මුල්තැන් ගෙවල් 13ක් ස්ථාන 24ක කැමවේල් ලක්ෂයක් දීමට කළමනාකරණය කළ ඒ වීරයන් අප ඔබට හඳුනා දීමටයි උත්සාහ කරන්නේ.
So while I read out the names, if you could stand up, and the rest of us, if we can give them a round of applause. From Rajgiriya Community Kitchen, Ravi John, Luke and Ruth, Irani, Christo, and Ananda Pereira. From Nigambo, we have Susil Silva. From Kadavata, Geet Chamara and Nishanta Subasingha. From Wattala, we have Noor Lanka Company and Geet Chamara again. Now, something about Noor Lanka is, for the past 3 months, they are the ones who have actually taken this challenge on. For the past 3 months, they have been feeding over 200 meals a day. So, can we give another round of applause for Noor Lanka? Also joining us from Jaffna would be Ashok Kumar. From Kirinochi, we have Jayanti Ashok, also the wife of Ashok Kumar. Now, interesting fact about this is Jayanti is actually pregnant, and even while she has been in the kitchen, day in and day out, cooking and serving meals to those who really need it. So I think we should give a very loud round of applause for them again. We also have from Batiklo, Maskelia and Kakirava representing its SK Vishwa, who is I think here all the way from Batiklo with us. So round of applause for him. From Obe Segarapura we have Dr. Amali Pereira. Round of applause please. And from Matara Uruboka we have Indika Kumara, who is also the brother of Moses Akash. Right. So we are going to leave the stage for a bit so that you can enjoy a small dance act we have ready for you. Hope you guys enjoy.
Lakimi Samada Sri Lanka Mata Paris Kamboma Sri Lanka Mata Lakimi Samada.
බිඳු හෙළලා සවිය පාමින සැමදනා දිවි දෙමු හෙළ භූමියේ නාමිනා
උනතන පාලා සිංහ ජඩ හොවා ලය පුද කරලා තේජසින් සම හදනගා පවසමු අභිමානයේ ගායනා ශ්‍රී ලංකා භූමි නවදීමු සවමා වන්දේ රත්මැණි සැමදා Sri Lanka Mata Rakimi Samada Sri Lanka Mata Daviskamboma Sri Lanka Mata Rakimi Samada Sri Lanka Mata Rakimi Samada Sri Lanka Mata Taviskamboma Sri Lanka Mata Rakimi Samada
ඕනෑම කණ්ඩායමක් එසේ නැත්තම් මිෂන් එකක් එහෙමත් නැත්තම් අරමුණක් සාර්ථක කර ගැනීමට මම මුලින් කිව්වා වගේ තිරයේ පිටුපස හා තිරයේ ඉදිරිපස වගේම තවත් නැතුවම් බැරු කණ්ඩායමක් සිටිනවා. අපේ රටේ උද්දමනයේ 84ක් වෙලත් ඇති අසීරු කාලයක එවැනි මොහොතේක
Yes, like Chandini was saying, in order to accomplish a mission, not only the team behind the stage, but those on the stage are also vital contributors. In a time where inflation is at 84% and many people are at queues, these people could have actually stayed back in the comfort of their own homes and just enjoyed themselves at home. But they decided to swim upstream. They are our backbone. They are our strength. We humbly honor all of you who contributed financially for the 100,000 plates. 20 million rupees in a span of 100 days. Did you all hear me right? 20 million rupees in a span of 100 days. We remember all the generous donors, institutions, and those who volunteered to help this effort. This is a short note on how our efforts reach the international stage. Now, Voice has its hand in many projects. And I would like to introduce to you just a few today. We have many, uncountable. A better Sri Lanka for better Sri Lankans. The Voice reached almost 35,000 to 45,000 families annually. Apart from our community.
බලාපොරොත්තුව තමයි අපේ තේමාව තමයි මේකේ අම්මයි තාත්තයි එක්ක මම කියන තේමාව. ඉතින් අපි මෙතනදී ගොඩක් වෙලාවට උත්සාහ කරනවා මේ පවුල් ඒකකේ ශක්තිමත් ඒත් අපිට තියෙන ලොකුම ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි ඒක එහෙම නැති එක තමයි. හැබැයි ඉතින් මෙතනට දරුවෝ ගොඩාක් ප්‍රශ්නත් එක්ක ඉන්න දරුවෝ. ඉතින් අපිට ඕනේ ඒගොල්ලන් අද ඉන්න තත්ත්වෙ නෙමෙයි එක දවසක ඒගොල්ලන් ගොඩාක් ඉදිරියට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ජීවිතය යන්න.
Wow, wasn't that just adorable to see all those little kids? Right, so now I would like to call upon stage actually, Rebecca Phillips, head of the Safe House, to share a bit of what happens there and a bit of thoughts, you know. Can we have a round of applause, please?
ඉතින් ඔගලන් ඉස්සර දැක්කා වගේ වොයිස් පදනම හරහා කරන එක් සමාජ සත්කාරයක් තමයි අපේ ලිටල් හෙවන් පෙර පාසල සහ දිවාසු රැකම මධ්‍යස්ථානය. ඉතින් මම ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ස්තුති කරන්න කැමති මේක මේ තත්වයට අපිට ගන්න උදව් කරපු හැම උපකාර කරන කෙනෙක්ටම ඒ වගේම අපිට ස්පොන්සර් කරලා තියෙන හැම කෙනෙක්ටමත් මම ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ස්තුති කරනවා. ඒ වගේම අපිට කෑම උයලා දෙන හැම කීප දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා වෙනම දරුවන්ට. ඉතින් මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා මේගොල්ලන්ට ස්තුති කරනවා. මට තනියෙන් මේ ගමන යන්න බෑ. ඉතින් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ උදව් ඔක්කොම මාත් එක්ක තිබිච්ච නිසා තමයි මේ ගමන මම අද ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් අපි දන්නවා ලිටල් හෙවන් කිව්වහම ඒකේ තේරුම තමයි පුංචි සුරංගනා ලෝකෙ කියන එක. ඉතින් 2021 පෙබරවාරි 8 වෙනි දවසේ මට මේක බාර දෙනකොට මේකේ තිබුණේ රාක්ක ටිකක් මේ සපුරු ටිකක් විතරයි. ඉතින් මට ඇත්තටම ඕන වුණා මේක දරුවන්ට පුංචි සුරංගනා ලෝකයක් මවන්න. ඉතින් ඒ අයිඩියා එක මගේ ඔළුවට ආපු දවසේ ඉඳන් මම try කරනවා ඒක ඇත්තක් කරන්න. ඉතින් ඒක එහෙම හිතපු දවසේ ඉඳන්ම මට ගොඩක් ස්පොන්සර්ස් ලගෙන් අපිට ගොඩක් උපකාර ලැබුණා. සෙල්ලම් බඩු මෙතන ඔයගොල්ලන් දකින ගොඩක් දේවල් අපිට ස්පොන්සර් කරපු දේවල්. ඉතින් මම ස්තුති කරනවා. ඔයගොල්ලන් සමාහයට පුංචි දෙයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන් පරිත්‍යාග කරන්නේ. ඒත් ඒක ලොකු ප්‍රතිලාභයක්. ඒකෙන් අපි භුක්ති විඳිනවා. ඉතින් මම ගොඩක් සතුටු වෙනවා හැම දරුවෙක්ම එකෙන් සතුටු වෙනවා. ඒව ඇත්තටම භුක්ති විඳලා නැති දරුවෝ තමයි ඒ වලින් සතුටු වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒ දරුවෝ ඒවත් එක්ක සතුටු වෙනවා ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. ඒ දේවල් දකින්නකොටම ඇත්තටම මට ඒක ලොකු සතුටක්. ඉතින් ඒ වගේම තමයි අපේ තේමාව තමයි අම්මයි තාත්තයි එක්ක මම කියන තේමාව. ඉතින් ඒකේ එහෙම වුණාට අපිට තියෙන මම ඉස්සෙල්ලත් කිව්වා වගේ ලොකුම ප්‍රශ්න තමයි අපේ පවුල්වල ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන දරුවෝ තමයි ඉන්නේ. ඉතින් මේ දරුවෝ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මාත් එක්ක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්න බෙදා ගන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ හිතේ තියෙන දේවල් අපිට වගේ ගිහිල්ලා කවුන්සලර්ස් ළඟට ගිහිල්ලා කියන්න තරම් ඒගොල්ලන්ට බැරි වුණාට ඒගොල්ලන් ඊරෑ වෙච්ච දේ ඇවිල්ලා මාත් එක්ක කියනවා. ඉතින් සමහරලාට මගේ ඇස් දෙකෙනුත් කඳුළු ගලනවා මොනවද මම මේවට කරන්න කියලා. ඉතින් මද්ද්‍රව්‍ය නිසා ඇත්තට මේ පවුල් ගොඩක් දුකින් ඉන්න තත්වයක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒ දරුවන්ට මට ඕනේ හැමෝටම එක සමානව සලකන්න. එතනට එක මට්ටම් වල දරුවෝ එනවා. එතනට ආවා මේ හැම දරුවෙක්ම මට එක හා සමාන දරුවෝ තමයි. ඉතින් මේ හැම දරුවෙක්ම මට ඕනේ හොඳ අධ්‍යාපනයක්. ඒ වගේම ඒගොල්ලන්ට ආදරේ, ඒ වගේම ඒගොල්ලන්ට හොඳ උපදෙස් දීලා ඒගොල්ලන් සමාජයේ හොඳ මට්ටමකට ගේන එක තමයි මගේ අරමුණ. ඒ වගේම මම ස්තුති කරනවා නැවත වතාවක් ඔබ යම් පරිත්‍යාගයක් කරලා තියෙනවා නම් නැවත වතාවක් මම ස්තුති කරනවා. ඒ කරපු දේ අද නෙමෙයි හෙට වෙනුවෙන් තමයි ඔබ කරලා දෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒක ගැන මම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මම මාව විශ්වාස කරලා මට පුංචි සුරංගනාලෝකේ බාර දුන්න පාස් දිශාන් ඇතුළු පාස්ටර් මොසස්ටත් මම ස්තුති කරනවා. ස්තුතියි.
Right, so that was our safe house. Now I would like to show you yet another initiative where we reach out to the senior citizens in our country. Me personally, I visited this place and I've seen a lot of elderly people there. Some people have been taken from the streets where they have had no home. Some where their children have just left them on the streets. Some have been homeless for more than 20 years. Right? So sometimes when we visit that place, you must see the smiles on their faces. You know, they say puta, dua, and it gives them a lot of joy just to spend some time with them. So let's have a look and see how the voice reaches out to them also.
වොයිස් වැඩිහිටි නිවාසයේ බාරව කටයුතු කරන්නේ මම තමයි. දැනට අපිට වැඩිහිටි නිවාස දෙකක් තිබෙනවා. එකක් මීගමුවෙත් ඒ වගේම හලාවතත්. වැඩිහිටියන් 20ක් පමණ දෙනෙක් අපි සමග සිටිනවා. මේ අය විවිධ පසුබිම් වලින් ආපු අය, සමහරක් අය පාරවල් වල ඉඳලා හම්බෙච්ච අය, සමහරක් අය දරුවන් විසින් අතහැර දැමුව අය. මේකේ සමහර වැඩ කොටස් තවම ඉවර නැහැ. මොකද අපි කැමති මේ අයට හොඳ විවේක කාලයක් ලබා දෙන්න. ඉතින් අපි ඔබට ආරාධනා කරන අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙන්න කියලා ඉදිරියට අපිත් එක්ක යන පිණිස මේ අයට උපකාර කරමින් මේ අයට හොඳ කාලයක් විවේකීව ගත කරන්න අවස්ථාව ලබා දීමට
This is the ground that we are constructing with this project Smile of a Child.
We are coming to you from Nungamgoda temple in the Kalaniya area.
Anda vetena nittiha navati vedana upadina hadawat langa navati Anda vetena nittiha navati vedana upadina hadawat langa navati අහසක එහා මරු කතරේ දියකෙනා පැතුමන් හට පන දෙනා පහනක් සේ දැල්වෙනා කිසි දිනකදී නොනිවෙනා We are the voice of the nation, rising generation. And it's a time of new revival, lighting the darkness. There's a voice for the voiceless, hope to the hopeless. Let our voice be the voice, a light that keeps on shining. இது தேசத்தின் குரலே பூக்கும் நேரமே இருட்டின் இறுதியே இது தேசத்தின் குரலே මේ දේශයේ හඬයි විවිධීමේ කාලයයි අඳුරේ අවසානයයි මේ දේශයේ හඬයි
Right, so you must be wondering why we played the song 2 times. So this song was actually composed specially for the voice itself. This is not a song that we've taken from YouTube or a song written for someone else. This song was specially composed for the voice itself. And if you go into the lyrics of the song, you will find a very deep meaning, specially for the Voice Foundation.
මාලන් අපි මතක් කරන්න ඕනේ වසරකට පවුල් 35000කට වඩා මේ වොයිස් පදනම තුලින් උපකාර කරනවා. මෙම වොයිස් පදනමේ විශේෂ වූ පුද්ගලයෙක් සිටිනවා. ඔහු හරි අපූර්ව මිනිසෙක්. බොහෝ ජීවිතවලට ආලෝකය කරා ළඟා වීමට ඔහු මඟ පෙන්වූ විශිෂ්ට පුද්ගලයෙක්. ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි. විටක බොහෝ ජීවිතවලට පුහුණු කරුවෙක්. ඒ වගේම අධ්‍යාත්මික නායකයෙක්. විටක ඔහු ආදරණීය පියෙක්. තවත් විටක ගමනක නිර්මාතෘවරයෙක්.
Yes, we would like to remind you that as the Voice Foundation, we support more than 35,000 families a year. Now, in this Voice Foundation, we have a very special person. He's an amazing person, actually. He's a person who has helped many to become a better human being. He's a trainer, at times a spiritual leader. He's a loving father, at times a founder of New Journey. At this moment, we would like to invite Reverend Dr. Dishan De Silva, the founder of Voice Foundation, to say a few words.
All right, a blessed evening to all of you, Marlon. Thank you for those kind words. Man, I'll tell you what, can you do me a favor this beautiful evening? Just for 30 seconds, can we put our hands together and once again give Voice a great applause for all that they are doing? Come on, put your hands together for the Voice. I tell my daughters all the time, challenges are to be overcome and records are to be broken. Challenges are to be overcome and records are to be broken. And today, together with you and everyone who is gathered, those of you who will be online, we're once again breaking new grounds as Voice begins to enter into a new phase of the journey. But before I begin to speak about the new phase, let me take this moment to say thank you to individuals, societies, corporates, for all that you have done to help the Voice to come thus far. Without your love, without your support, without your generosity, we will not be where we are today. Also, I must remind all of you the value of our tremendous volunteers. Voice, interestingly, only has 2 paid workers. if you are to say people who take a salary. But the amazing thing about Voice is, Voice has hundreds of volunteers that represent all races, all religions, and also international partners. So a big applaud for all the volunteers who helps Voice to get where Voice has gotten. Also, I must take this time to thank all the pastors of Bethany who has played a significant role and continuously playing a significant role. I watch them at times, they work as laborers. I've seen them walking in the hot scorching sun to begin to extend a helping hand. I watched the Voice, Alex, in the floods. I watched these pastors not only walking in the floods, but also I've seen them swimming in the flood. I've seen Voice traveling on different routes that many might want to travel. I've heard of stories how many a time breakdowns, vehicles have stopped because of the difficulties in the travel. But nevertheless, Voice keeps traveling to and fro. I want to say thank you. Of course, not the last, but the most important person is Moses Akash. I wonder how Moses Akash does this. He's a 24/7 man. I wonder if he sleeps. But sometimes I see his Facebook, he's playing cricket. The next time I watch his Facebook, he's somewhere in the beach. The next time I watch his Facebook, he's somewhere distributing some goods. Moses is all around, a 24/7 man. Voice would not be here if not for Moses. And the great thing about Moses is, he always does his work with a smile. Maybe not always. Sometimes you see he has lost the smile. But the most important thing is, he's such a wonderful human being. And I want to say thank you to Moses for the tremendous work that you have done and you continue to begin to do. At Voice, we don't see people through the lens of religion, neither through the lens of race. When we look at people, we look at them as a creation of God and to be loved and to be empowered. And we look at every one of them as fellow brothers and sisters, not with the lens of religion and race. Many times I've been asked the question, how come you started Voice? And my answer has always been, Kevin, surprised many people because I laugh at that. And they ask me, why are you laughing? And I tell them, because I never started Voice. They said, we thought you are the founder. I said, no, I never started Voice. Why am I saying this? Voice was never my initiative. Voice was an initiative of God communicated to me through a vision to serve humanity. So I cannot take credit for Voice. I'm not, in that sense, the founder or the author. Because Voice was God's idea to see Sri Lanka and Sri Lankans becoming better. To every one of you, from all races and all religions, who gather together with us, in one way you are accomplishing a desire of God in your and my motherland. I've heard many times sayings like this. We have people from the media here like Viduranga, and I've heard statements like this, Rata Hadamu, Rata Idriyata, but I have not heard statements, let's help the citizen. Voice is all about empowering the Sri Lankan citizen to become a better citizen. Friends, we strongly believe in Voice. There can never be a better Sri Lanka without better Sri Lankans. We as Voice, we champion a dream. We live for a dream. And the dream is to see a transformed Sri Lanka. A transformed Sri Lanka would only be a dream if Sri Lankans don't take the initiative and the effort to help their motherland become a better one. We are celebrating 100 days today of community kitchen. Marlon clearly said 100,000 meals and a 20 million project. I just want to think, how was it possible? People from all races, all religions coming together. As I conclude my little speech, I want you to know that voice begins to travel near and far. It begins to walk the length and the breadth of this nation, finding needs and also informing needs. And what voice does, it connects people to begin to meet the needs of our own people. And we want to once again extend a big thank you to every one of you who has always said, yes, I want to help. Never focus on what others don't do. I hope you heard me. Never focus on what others don't do. Also don't focus on what you can't do. Rather, do what you can do, because that is the best way to see the change that you and I want. I believe without a shadow of doubt, together, you and I can do this. And I want to invite every one of you to continuously be a part of this journey in bringing national transformation. For those of you who are already a part of the journey, my humble request is, please stay in the journey. But also, would you help us to invite others into this great journey? I close with this confidence, saying that I believe with the help of you and with the help of God, we can see a better Sri Lanka by helping Sri Lankans to become better Sri Lankans. May God bless all of you, and may God bless Voice as Voice begins to champion the cause of Sri Lanka. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen.
නැවත වතාවක් අපි ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. දවස් 100 කමියුනිටි කිචන් එකේ දවස් 100 සම්පූර්ණ කරන්න ඔබගේ කාලය, ඔබගේ ශ්‍රමය, ඒ වගේම තමයි ඔබගේ මිල මුදල් අතෙන් ඔබ දැක්වුවා සහයෝගය අපි බොහොමත්ම අගය කොට සලකන. ඉතින් අපි ඔබට නැවත වතාවක් ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. බොහෝ දෙනෙක්ගේ කුසගින්න නිමන්න ඔබ කළ උපකාරය නිසා.
Yes, we would like to thank you for partnering with us for the 100 days as we accomplished 100,000 plates with a 20 million project within 100 days. So once again, thank you very much. Now I would like to go into a time of questions and answers. I know every one of you might be having some questions in mind. One of the main questions is, Marlon, how can I partner up? How can I be a part of this? Or else some questions might be, how do they do this? How did they do this for the 100 days? So let's go into a time of question and answer. So I would like to call upon from Jaffna Community Kitchen, Ashok Kumar on stage. From Kadavata, representing Kadavata and Wattala, Geet Chamara. And also representing Batiklo, Maskelia and Kakirava, SK Vishwa. Can we have them on stage, please? And also I would like to welcome Moses Akash to take over. And also Indika Gajanayaka from Mathura. Can we have you on stage, please?
සුබ සන්ධ්‍යාවක් ඔබ හැම කෙනෙකුටම අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම ස්තුති කරනවා මේ කණ්ඩායමට. අපි කිව්වා වගේ community kitchens 13ක් but නමුත් locations 24ක මේ community kitchens අපි පවත්වාගෙන යනවා ලංකාව පුරාම. මේ ඉන්නේ තිරේ පිටිපස්සේ විවිධ ස්ථානවල community kitchens පවත්වාගෙන යනවා අය. විශේෂයෙන්ම කොළඹ අපිට ටිකක් ලේසි මේක කරගෙන යන්න. මොකද මේ ස්ථානයේ යම් තාක් දුරට facilities අපිට තියෙනවා. So these are the people, the main coordinators from our outstation community kitchens. As I said, we have 13 community kitchens, but it's functioning in 24 locations. Suppose for Jaffna, it happens on all 5 days in 5 different locations, and also Kilinochchi, Batiklo, and so on. So I'm going to ask them a few questions and also open the opportunity for you to ask if there's any questions, maybe 1 or 2 questions for you all to ask from them as well. Most of them have traveled all the way from Jaffna, Batiklo just for this event, just for this day, as we are completing 100 days for Friday, that was yesterday, since the beginning of the community kitchen, which was the 1st of June. For yesterday, we have completed 100 days and provided 100,000 meals. So it's an achievement that we could be proud of, but in a way, it's a question that we all have to think, why do we have to provide 100,000 meals? Where are we as a nation? So, Pastor Ashok, මම කැමති ඔයාගෙන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහන්න. පවුලේ 3 දෙනෙක් දරුවෝ ඉන්නවා. 4 වෙනි දරුවා ඔයාගෙට ඔයාට භාර්යාවට ලැබෙන්න ඉන්නවා. So Pastor Ashok, Jaffna Community Kitchen එක බලනවා. ඔයාගේ භාර්යාව දරුවා බිහි කරන්න ඉන්න අතරතුර කිලිනොච්චිය community kitchen එක කරගෙන යනවා. ඇයි community kitchen එකට සම්බන්ධ වුණේ සහ අනික් හැමෝම වගේ ලංකාව පුරා දරුවෝ 3 දෙනෙක් එක්ක මේක ලේසි වැඩක් නෙමෙයි. මම හිතනවා ඔබත් පෝලිං වල ඉන්න ඇති තෙල් හොයාගන්න මේ වගේ. එහෙම ඉන්න තියෙනකොට ඇයි මේ මිනිස්සුන්ට උදව් කරන්න වා තෝරගත්ත? කෙටියෙන් අපිට උත්තරයක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් ඉස්සරට.
තරම හොඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ඇත්තටම මේ කාලයේ අවශ්‍යතාවය දිග අපි බලනකොට අපිට නිහඬ වෙන්න බෑ, නිකන් හින්න බෑ. මොකද මේ කාලයේ අමාරුකම ඊටාම දරුණුයි. අපි උතුරේදී අපි දකිනවා මොකද අවුරුදු 30ක කාලයක් යුද්ධයේ තිබෙන නිසා යුද්ධයේත් එක්ක තාම මේ වාතාවරණය ඒ විදියටමයි තියෙන්නේ. මෝසස් උතුරේ ගොඩක් වැන්දපුන් ඉන්නවා. තාත්තා නැති දරුවෝන් අනන්ත ප්‍රමාණයි. ඔය කිව්වා වගේ මට දරුවෝ 3 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. මම ඕන්ත් එක්ක සෙල්ලම් කරනවා, ඕන් මාත් එක්ක සෙල්ලම් කරනවා. ඉතින් මේ දේ දිගා කිලුනෙච්චේදී උතුරේ දිගා බලනකොට එහෙ ගොඩක් දරුවන් තාත්තාගේ සෙනෙහස නැතුව උරතල් නැතුව ඒ සෙල්ලම් කරන්න අවස්ථාව නැතුව දුක් විඳින දරුවෝ ගොඩක් ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ ආයුධික බලනකොට ඇත්තටම මා තුළ තිබිච්ච ප්‍රශ්න තමයි ක්වෙස්චන් තමයි මම මොකද කරන්න යන්නේ මේ දිග. මේගොල්ලෝ මොනවද කරන්න යන්නේ කියන එක. ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලෝ උරතල් අවශ්‍යයි, ආදරය අවශ්‍යයි, අවශ්‍යතාවය ගණනාවක් තියෙනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉදිරියට යන්න විවිධ ඕගනයිසේෂන්ස් අත දුන්නත් අවශ්‍යතාවය ඇති දරුවන් ගොඩක් ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් මේ කාරණාවත් එක්ක අපේ වොයිස් ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් එක තුල කරන හැම දෙයක්ම ඉතා වටිනා වැදගත් දේ කියන එක අපි තේරුම් අරගෙන තියෙනවා. හරි මේක දරුවන්ගේ ජීවිතේට ඉතා සමීප වෙන දේවල් නිසා. ඒ නිසා මගේ භාර්යාව දැන් මාස 4යි ප්‍රෙග්නන්සි මදර්. නමුත් අපි ඒත් එක්ක මේ කාරණාවත් එක්ක අපි කරගාගෙන යනවා. මොකද අපේ අමාරුකමට වඩා දරුවන්ගේ අමාරුකම වැඩි. ඔවුන් තුල තියෙන තුවාල ඔවුන්ගේ අවශ්‍යතාවය ඊට වඩා ඉහළ මට්ටම තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා අපි ආසාවෙන් කැපවීමෙන් මේ දේ උත්තරේ කරනවා.
ලේසිද වාගේ භාර්යාවට දරුවෙක් හම්බෙන්න ඉන්නවා කිව්වාගේ මාස 4ක්. කියන්න අපිට ඒ වගේම මොන වගේ අමාරුකම් වලටද මුහුණ දෙන්න උනේ?
යස් ඇත්තටම දැන් ළඟදී වට්ටුකෝට කියන තැනකට අපි විසිට් කරා අපේ සෙන්ටර් එකට. ගිහින් එනකොට හවස 3:04 විතර වෙති. තව ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් තිබුණා මම එකට ගියා. සාභාවී වෙලා ඉඳි මට කෝල් එකක් ආවා ඩෙඩා ඉක්මනින්ම එන්න I want to go to the hospital කියලා. මම පුදුමයටපත් වුණා මොකද ඉතින් ගෙදරට ඇවිල්ලා එයා කිව්වා මට බ්ලීඩින් වෙලා so I want to go hospital. ඉක්මනින්ම ජප්නාවල මදර් කෙයා කියන ප්‍රයිවට් හොස්පිටල් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකට මම අරන් ගියා. ඉතින් ડોක්ටර් චෙක් කරලා එයාට බේත් වගේක් ලිව්වා. ඒ බේත් විතර 10000 cost එක 10,000 rupees for the medicine and 1,500 rupees so 2,000 for the doctor. ඔක්කොම 13,000 එදා වට්ටකෝටේ ගිහ අප ගමනේ එක වියදම් කරා. yes ඒ විදිහේ අමාරු ගමන තමයි. මොකද පාරවල් මේ වගේ ස්මූත් නෑ. ඉතින් කියන්න බැරි වලවල් තියෙනවා. yes
So this is a small update about what's happening in Jaffna. So what I want to thank all of you is the support that you have given us financially. ඔබ හැම කෙනෙක්ම අපිට උදව් කරලා තියෙනවා මුදලින් and විවිධ ආකාරයට මේගොල්ලන්ව අපි ගෙනාව ප්‍රධාන හේතුවත් ඒකයි so that you can know that the funds that you have given or the amounts that you have given has gone to good hands. ඔබ දුන්නු මුදල් ඔබ දුන්නු දායකත්වය ඒක වතුරේ ගිහිල්ලා නැහැ. මේ වගේ පුදුමාකාර අභියෝග තුලින් තමයි මේක ගෙනියන්නේ. පහුගිය කාලෙම තිබුණු ප්‍රශ්නත් එක්ක අපි ඊළඟ ප්‍රශ්නේ අහන්න කලින් අපේ SK විශ්වනාഥන්ගෙන් මම කැමති පොඩි වීඩියෝ එකක් තියෙනවා ඔබට පෙන්නන්න. මොකද්ද මේ මඩකලපුව eastern part of the country. This is the north part of the country and this is the eastern part of the country. මඩකලපුව ප්‍රදේශවල මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ කියන එක ගැන පොඩි අප්ඩේට් එකක් අපි බලමු ස්ක්‍රීන් එකේ. වාස විශ්වා මට කියන්න ඔබ ලොකේෂන්ස් 3ක කෝඩිනේට් කරනවා. එකක් කැකිරාව මඩකලපුවේ ලොකේෂන්ස් 8ක් කැකිරාව සහ the central part of the country නුවරඑළිය මස්කෙලිය. කොච්චර දුර ට්‍රැවල් කරනවද සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දවසකට මේ කමියුනිටි කිචන් එකේ ඉඳලා අනිත් කමියුනිටි කිචන් එක? කොහෙද දුරම කමියුනිටි කිචන් එක බැටික්ලෝ ඉඳලා?
සාමාන්‍ය මඩකලපුවම ගත්තාම ජන ගම්මාන 935ක් විතර තියෙනවා. මිනිස්සු 7000ක් වගේ ජීවත් වෙනවා. අපි මඩකලපුවේ ඉඳලා විවිධ අපි දැන් බැලුවා වූ ගම්මාන කීපයකින් අපි මොබයිල් කිචන් වගේ අපි තැන් තැන් වලට යනවා. සමහරට ෆෙරි එක ගිහලා තොප්පිගල කියන තැනකට තමයි අපි ගියේ. තාම අමාරු තැන. වයිෆයි විලා පවවද එවිදිනත් බැරි වුණා. ඒතර හරි අමාරු බයික් එකේ තමයි ගියේ. ගිහලා ෆෙරි එකේ දාගෙන ගිහලා අපි දවස්සම ගත වුණා. ඒ තිගිලිවැට්ට කියන තැන එක තමයි තොප්පිගල. එතන ගිහලා අපි ගියාට පස්සේ මිනිස්සු එවිලා කියන්නේ අර ආසාවෙන් ඇවිල්ලා චිකන් කැම එකක් ගන්න කියලා ආසාව වුණා. මොකද එතන සංස්කෘතිය තමයි දෙමාපිය කියන්නේ හස්බන්ඩ් වයිෆ් ඇවිල්ලා මීපැණි ගන්න කැලෑට ගිහලා සති දෙකක් ඉඳලා තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ එන්නේ. එතකන් ළමයි බලාගෙන ඉන්න සමහර ළමයිට මොනවාරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. සාමාන්‍ය ඒක සංස්කෘතියක් වෙලා තිබෙන නිසා ඒ වගේ ගම්මාන ගොඩාක් තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඒගොල්ලොට කැමලක් දෙන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙලා තිබුණා. ගොඩාක් ඉල්ලීම තිබුණා. අපි ගමට ගිහලා මේ දේ කරනකොට ගොඩාක් අය ඇවිල්ලා අපිට වැඳලා ගියා. අපි දෙයියෝ නෙමෙයි. නමුත් ඒගොල්ලෝ කැමලක් හම්බ වෙනවා කියන්නේ හරි පුදුමයි. මොකද අපි මේ වගේ අත්දැකීම් මම නම් මේ ගොඩාක් කාලේ කැම නැති අත්දැකීම් ගොඩාක් තිබෙනවා මට. ඒ නිසා මිනිස්සුන්ට මොනවාරි කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා ඉතන කාලවකවන තුලින් ඔය නියම වෙලාවට කාලවකවනට ගැළපෙන විදියට අවශ්‍යතාවය අධිතිර ක්‍රියා කරපු නිසා අපිට ආසාව වුණා වැඩිපුර අපි ෆීල්ඩ් එකේ 175% එක අපි වැඩ කරනවා. මගේ නෝනා මයිතක එකතු වෙලා ෆුල් සහයෝගය දෙනවා. අපි තමයි පටන් ගත්තේ ඔයයන්. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් ඔලන්ඩියස් දාලා වැඩ කරනවා. අපි ගම්මානට ගියාම කට්ටිය ඇවිල්ලා උදව් කරනවා. ඒගොල්ලම උනන්දුවෙන් උදව් කරනවා. හැබැයි එල්ලීම ගොඩාක් තිබෙනවා.
thank you. අවසාන පුද්ගලයා අපේ ඉන්දික මහත්මයාගෙන් අහන්න කැමති. ඉන්දික මහත්මයාට ඔහු මගේ සහෝදරයා. ජීවිතේ පළවෙනි වතාවට තමයි අපි දෙන්න එක ස්ටේජ් එකක මුණ ගැසෙන්නේ. සමහර ඔබ දන්නවා වගේ මමත් ළමා නිවාසයක හැදුනේ. ඔහුත් ළමා නිවාසයක හැදුනේ. නමුත් ජීවිතේ අතරමැද අපි දෙන්න මුණ ගැහුණා. පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳලා හම්බ වෙලා නැහැ. වයස 20ක් 18ක් විතර වගේ වයසේදී තමයි පළවෙනි වතාවට ඔහුව දැක්කේ. නමුත් අද මාතර කමියුනිටි කිචන් එක බාරව වැඩ කරන ඔහු සමහර දවස්වල දවසට 400ක් මේ අපි අප්ඩේට්ස් එවනවා. WhatsApp group එකක් තියෙනවා. මේකේ අප්ඩේට්ස් දාන්න කියලා කියනවා. උදේ 9 විතර වෙද්දි වැටෙනවා මාතර කමියුනිටි කිචන් 450 මේල්ස් කියලා. අපිත් කල්පනා කරනවා මේ උදේ 10 වෙද්දි කණ්ඩ මේකලා 400ක් මොනවද මේක කොහොමද කරන්නේ? සෝ අභියෝගාත්මකම පැත්තක මාතර කිව්වට මාතර නෙමෙයි. කොච්චරක් දුරද මාතර ඉඳලා?
කිලෝමීටර් 58ක්.
කිලෝමීටර් 58ක් විතර දුර මාතර ඌරුබොක්ක කියන ගමේ තමයි මේ කමියුනිටි කිචන් එක පවත්වාගෙන යන්නේ. සමහර දවස්වලට මුණ දුන්නාව අභියෝගات එක කමියුනිටි කිචන් එක shift කරන්න වුණා. අපිට ආරංචි ආවා දැක්කා. ඒ අත්දැකීම ගැන කියන කොහෙද ඔයා කෑම ඉව්වේ? කාටද කන්න දුන්නේ? මොන වගේ අභියෝගයකටද මුණ දෙන්න වුනේ?
ඇත්තට මේක අර විනාඩි දෙක තුනකින් කියන්න බැරි කතාවක්. පුරුවන් තරම් එකක් අර මට විනාඩියක් දුන්නොත් බඩගින්න කියන එකද අර මගේ සහෝදරයා මට කියපු නිසා අපි මං හිතන්නේ අපි තරම් බඩගින්න හිටපු කවුරුත් නැතුව ඇති කියලා ලංකාවේ. අපි අර සැලෙෂන් මේකේ මං එළියට ආවම දන්නෝ මේ සමහර සතිය මම ඉඳලා තියෙනවා බත් කන්න නැතුව. සතියක දවස මාළු පාන් එකෙන් මම ජීවත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒතර මට තිබුණා ලොකු බරක්. දැන් අපි දැන් හොඳ ලෙවල් එකක ඉන්නවා. ඒතර මේ බඩගින්න කියන දේ විස්තර කරන්න බෑ. දැන් අපි ගුරුවරු විදිහට මමයි නෝනයි දන්නෝ. අපි අර පන්තියට ගියාම අපිට අර දරුවෝ පන්තියට ආවම මේ අනිත් වෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඉන්නවා නම් අපි අහලා බැලුවම අපිට පුළුවන් විහිළුවක් කරලා පොඩි පිටට තට්ටුවක් දාලා ටක් ගාලා මූඩ් එකට ගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අපි දන්නවා හොඳට මේ දරුවෝ රැයටත් කාලාප නැති ළමයි. අර බඩගින්නේ ඉන්න ළමෙක්ට උගන්නන්න මානසිකත්වයට ගන්නවා කියන එක ඒක පුදුම පීඩනයක්. ඒක බඩ පුරවලම එපා එතනට ගන්න. ඒ නෝනා මගේ වැඩ කරන්නේ හරිම දුෂ්කර. පුදුම දුෂ්කරයි. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ලොකු දැන් මගේ මුළු ලයිෆ් එකම මම යම් තැනකට ගොඩ නැගීගෙන ආවා. අන්තිමට මං නෝනා හින්දා ඒ පැත්තරම ගිහිල්ලා මගේ ලයිෆ් එක සම්පූර්ණයෙන් වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒතර මට තිබිච්ච ලොකුම බර කොහොමද මේ බඩගින්න දිනන්නේ කියලා. එතකොට ඒ ඉස්කෝලේ අපේ ළමයි 250ක් ඉන්නවා ප්‍රයිමරියේ නෝනාගේ. මම දන්න විදිහට හොඳටම විශ්වාසයි ළමයි 100කට වඩා රැයටත් කාලා නැතුව තමයි එන්නේ ඉස්කෝලේ. ඊපස්සේ ඉස්කෝලේ අර රජයේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකක් තිබුණා කෑම දෙන. එක ළමෙක්ට රුපියල් 30යි. ඒ කවුරුත් බාර ගන්න ඒ රුපියල් 30ට මේ කාලේ ළමෙක්ට කෑම එකක් දෙන්න බෑ. ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක දැන් ඊට පස්සේ අර අපි කතා කරා ඊට පස්සේ තමයි මම සහෝදරයාට කිව්වේ බෑ අපිට මම ටියුෂන් එක කාර්යබහුලයි අපි දරුවෝ තුන් දෙනාත් එක්ක අපි නෝනා අපි 3ට නැගිටිනවා උදේ ඇහුවා උදේ 9 වෙනකොට යන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. අපි උදේත් මගේ වාහනේත් නෑ අපි බයික් එක ප්‍රාය 10 විතර වෙනකල් අපි බඩු ටික පැක් කරනවා. ඔක්කොම උදේට උයන්න ඕන ඔක්කොම ටික ලෑස්ති කරලා උදේ 4ට විතර අපි නැගිටලා ඔක්කොම පැක් කරගෙන අර පොඩි ස්කූටරේ හාල් 50යි පරිප්පු ටිකයි ඩිකී ගහගෙන ඩිකී පටවගෙන නෝනායි මමයි දරුවෝ අපි ඔක්කොම යනවා. ඒකට ලොකු චැලෙන්ජ් එකක් තියෙනවා. දරුවෝ ටික සතුටින් කනවා දැන් පැමිණීම 100%යි. දැන් මේ පහුගිය මාස තුනේ නෝනා ඉන්න පිටපස්සේ පාසලේ ප්‍රයිමරි පැමිණීම 100%යි. ළමයි එනවා බත් කන්න එක අන්තිමට මම කියනවා එක දරුවෙක් එක 6 අපි එක දරුවෙක් හිටිය 6 සැරයක් කනවා. දැන් අපි අර ලංකාවේ අර දන්සල් දිහා බැලුවොත් එහෙම තේරෙන අර තාගෙන යන අපි මම බලාගෙන ඉන්න මං කියලා තියෙන ඇති වෙනකන් කන්න දෙන්න. ඇයි අපි ඒක දරුවේ 6 සැරයක් බෙදාගෙන කනවා පොඩි 3 වසරේ දරුවෙක්. ඒකට හිතන්න කොච්චර ලොකු බඩගින්නක්ද ඔබතුමාලා හැමෝම එකතු වෙලා කරන්න කියලා. ඒක කොළඹ පුදුම සේවයක්. ස්තුතියි හැමෝටම.
ඒ වගේම මේ අන්තිම ප්‍රශ්නේ තැන් කීපයක් කියන්නකො කොහෙද කැහම උයන්නේ කියලා. සමහර දවස්වල මම දැක්කා නිකන් අමුතු ස්ථානවල තමයි මේ කැහම උයලා තියෙන්නේ. ලොකේෂන් වයිස් ඒ කියන්නේ අහවල් ස්ථානය කියලා කිව්වොත් කොහෙද?
ඔව් එතන අර චැලෙන්ජ් එකක් තියෙනවා. පහුගිය කාලේ ඉස්කෝලේ නිවාඩු දෙනවනේ. ඉස්කෝලේ අර පහුගිය මේ සතියේ දවසයි දෙකයි ඒ වගේ තියෙන දවස්වලට දැන් අපි මුලදී චැලෙන්ජ් එකක් තිබුණා. අපි අර අඳුරගත්ත ලංකාවේ ඇත්තටම දුර්වලකම් ග්‍රාමසේවක මහත්තයන් අහුවම ග්‍රාමසේවක මහත්තයා ළඟ නැහැ තොරතුරු කෑම අවශ්‍ය කවුද කියලා. ඊපස්සේ මම අපි ගිහිල්ලා අන්තිමට බැරිම තැන අපි ගෙවල් විසිට් කරා. අපි දන්නවා මේ පැත්තේ අපි මගේ ටීම් එකක් ඉන්න ළමයි අපි ගෙවල් ගානේ විසිට් කරලා ගිහිල්ලා තොරතුරු අරගෙන තමයි කෑම ටික ගත්තේ. එතකොට අපිට සිද්ධ වෙනවා එක තැනක දැන් ඉස්කෝලේ දවසට අපි ඉස්කෝලේ උයනවා. ඊපස්සේ අනිත් දවසට අපි ගෙදර උයලා කෑම ටික පාර්සල් කරගෙන බයර තෙල් තිබුණ නැහැ පහුගිය දවස්වල බයිසිකල් 4ක් අරන් අපි ඒ අඳුරගත්ත ගෙවල් මොකද මේ මිනිසුන්ට එන්නවත් බෑ. එච්චර හරිම දුෂ්කර පළාතක්. සමහරට කිලෝමීටර් 2ක් විතර කඳු පල්ලම් අර ෆොටෝස් දානකොට දැකලා ඇති. ඉතින් අපි අර බයිසිකල් අරගෙන පෙට්ටි කරේ තියාගෙන අපි දන්නවා මේක කාටවත් දීලා වැඩක් නැහැ. අපි ගෙදරටම ගිහිල්ලා දෙන්න. එතකොට ලොකේෂන්ස් මට හිතෙන 5-6 බලක විතර පාරයිනෙත් තියාගෙන උයනවා. මොකද ඒ අපි පැති තෝරගෙන තියෙන බඩු ටික ඔක්කොම අරයි යනවා ගිහිල්ලා එතන වලන් ටික තියාගෙන එදා උයලා ඒරියා එකට කැම ටික දීලා එනවා.
So this is a small update about what's happening around the country with 13 community kitchens in 24 different locations. As I said, I've seen some of these images, very especially with regards to what's happening in Mahathar. I've seen there were times that they were cooking food at inside a bus stand. I mean, bus stand එකක හට්ටි මුට්ටි ටික තියාගෙන උයන ෆොටෝ එකකුත් තමයි මම කිව්වා මේක PHI දැක්කොත් අපිට දඩ ගහයි. මොකද that is how it is, but that is the need. මම මුලදීම කිව්වා වගේ we are meeting on this platform on a stage for the first time in our life. අපි දෙන්නම එහෙම අමාරුකම් තුලින් තමයි ගිහිලා තිබුණේ. අපි අඳුරගෙන හිටියේ නෑ පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳලම දන්නෙත් නෑ දැකලත් නෑ. යම් කෙනෙක් හරහා තමයි මේ මගේ සහෝදරයා ඔහුව මුණ ගැසුනේ. නමුත් අද වෙනකොට අපිට හැකියාව ලැබිලා තියෙනවා එකම ගමනක් තුල ස්ථාන කිහිපයක ගමන් කරන්න. අපි නැවතත් මේ කෝඩිනේටර්ස්ලාට අපි හොඳ අත්පොලසන් ආදයක් දෙමු. ඒ වගේම මැද වාඩි වෙලා ඉන්න. thank you very much. අපි බලමු community kitchens කොච්චරක් දුරට මේ වෙනකොට ගිහිලා තියෙනවද කියලා. අපි තවත් එක වීඩියෝ ක්ලිප් එකක් අපි බලමු.
Like this are starting up around Sri Lanka.
It's very difficult. We rarely get food like this.
Voice for the Voiceless has set up community kitchens to try to help. See, one of the slogans that we use is for us is Better Sri Lanka with Better Sri Lanka, where we are encouraging people to become better.
Food, fuel, medicine in desperately short supply.
සංවිධාන කළ ප්‍රදේශයේ අසරණ පවුල් සඳහා දිවා ආහාරය ලබා දීමේ වැඩසටහනක් සිදු කෙරුණා.
මුල්ලාදියර වශයෙන් මෙලෙස පිසින ලද ආහාර බෙදා දීම ක්‍රියාත්මක වුණා.
This is one of dozens of community kitchens that opened in Sri Lanka as the scale of hunger began to be revealed.
Isn't it just amazing how Voice has reached out to the nation, to every single part of it? We would like to thank each and every one of you once again for all your support during the past years, and I know definitely for the years to come also. Next, we have a video of a very special individual. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Please have a look.
Heroes walk among us. They're just everyday people, except for one thing. They dreamed of creating a better society, and today they're putting in the work to realize that dream. In this episode, we introduce one such hero, Moses Akash De Silva, who founded the Voice for Voiceless Foundation, a non-profit initiative against violence, oppression, injustice, and crime.
See, with the experience that I had from childhood, I always thought if there are people who can help people like us and who are facing challenges in society, they could be better. The experience that I had, I didn't have a place to go and all that, and then I got the opportunity to get connected with this particular family and all that, and it helped me. So deep inside my heart, I had this desire where we could reach to these needy people, and then church happens to be the ideal place, and they open this opportunity for people who are interested in working with society and uplifting lives and all that to connect. So I was selected, and I thought maybe this is a good place to work with. The slogan for Voice for Voiceless Foundation is Better Sri Lanka with Better Sri Lankans, where we believe as an organization, if we to have a better country, the countrymen has to be better. So unfortunately, in our context, we see a lot of people blame the third party for what is not happening. But if we ask ourselves the question, have I been a better person? For an example, the road rules. Everyone wants to have better ways and all that, but
no one wants to abide by the rules. See, we believe in this concept where if we can reach the family and empower the family, it will lead for the transformation of the society. So as a foundation, we have few goals. One is shelter, where we have shelters for underprivileged children and for single mothers and support the family. And then also education. Education, we have almost 11 education centers across the country, especially in tea states and all that, where we believe education can lead children and empower them. And also empowerment and skill development. We have empowerment centers for widows, for single mothers, and also elders homes and etc. to support the senior citizens of this country. One of our main goals have shifted from supporting ordinary people and people who are in poverty to care leavers. Care leavers is a concept we use for youth who are leaving orphanage care, like what happened to me. So that has changed a lot, and we are right now campaigning for care leavers' rights, such as birth certificate issues and housing and all that. As I said, we are working with a lot of care leavers, like youth who are coming out of orphanages. And there was this particular girl who was 17 years, and one particular family happens to take her for adoption and said that they will look after her, and she also willingly went to that house. 3 days later, we got this WhatsApp message from her saying, "Come and rescue me," in Sinhala Maawa Beraganna. So it happens to be this particular family was trying to sell her to other men, and we had to go to 4 police stations and to get their help. And it was shifted from this police station to the other police station and all that, but we were able to rescue her at 1:30 in the morning on a particular village. She was in a small house, and we told her to run out from the house, and it was a bit of a situation where we didn't know where she was and she didn't know where we were, and with the police we were searching the whole village, and at around 1 o'clock in the morning we were able to find her without any harm, and today she's doing really well. So the term care leavers, if you look at it, it's a new word for the people also. This generation of youth who have come out of orphanages at the age of 18, they have gone unnoticed. No one knows where they are, no one knows what they do. So this is one of our goals that we want to support and uplift their lives as well. If we don't take that challenge to become a better Sri Lankan, we will never have a better Sri Lanka.
A visionary is more than just a dreamer. A visionary turns thoughts into action. They are the reason why the rest of us dare to hope. Together, we can make a change that resonates across the world. We can be the visionaries who build a brighter future for all.
Can we have a round of applause for Moses Akash? Doing what he does is not easy. If you talk to some of his friends, you will know that what he does is not something everyone can do. I want to take 1 minute. One of his friends is me, right? So whenever we want to go somewhere, he'll call us up, he'll take us here and there. Even on, voice missions, he'll be like, "Shall we go?" It's not easy. Sometimes when we call him, "Moses, where are you?" I'm in Batiklo. "Moses, where are you?" I'm in Norelia. "Moses, where are you?" I'm in Kandy. Right? So not everyone can do that. Just like Pastor Dishan said, not everyone can do that. Definitely I can't. One morning he's in Kandy, then in the night he's in Kilinochi, the next morning he's somewhere else. You don't know where he is. So it's not easy. But he gets the job done. That's the best part about him. And I think with all your support, I think he can do more. And we can reach the nation with your support definitely. I think today is a day that it's not a sad day. It's a day that we rejoice because we've accomplished something. Voice Foundation has accomplished something no one else has. And I think it's just the stepping stone for where we can go. So next I would like to invite again on stage Reverend Dr. Dishan De Silva, Moses Akash, and Akila Alas on stage, so that we can just ask them a few questions on their journey with voice. So while they make their way on stage, we have a small video clip also again for you to watch.
In these times of economic distress in Sri Lanka, millions of people require a helping hand. As Sri Lankans in times of need, we have always stood together to help, to support, and to comfort one another. Today I'm inviting you to come together and support the Voice for the Voiceless Foundation. The Voice for the Voiceless Foundation feeds hundreds of underprivileged families through community kitchens in many parts of Sri Lanka, Monday to Friday. They have many initiatives such as elders' homes, safe houses, preschools, scholarships for students, and the latest, School on Wheels. You too can be a part of this foundation by contributing funds, supplies, or your valuable time and effort by volunteering. Together we can overcome. Together we can make a difference.
All right, so I don't need to tell you who that is. You all definitely know who that person is, supporting us all the way through. So we have three handsome gentlemen on stage here. Now we can't make it easy for them, you know. We need to ask them some questions. We need to challenge them with some questions, you know. I would like to start off by asking, let's ask, yes, everybody is pointing to Dishan. Dishan, how and why did you want to do this? Or rather, start something like this? The Voice, what was the inspiration?
I think, like I said at the earlier speech, I think one thing is maybe because the experiences of life and also being exposed to the great need in the nation and the desire to add some value to the country. I think we are very passionate about our country, and as a result of it, that is why we do what we do. So we are being blessed that there are so many people who have joined hands. But at the same time, you know, every story has its pluses and its minuses. What we do at Voice is we choose to ignore the negatives. We choose to ignore the voices that we don't want to hear. And we are intentionally focused only on the assignment. And it gives me great joy, I mean, just to see what together we have been able to accomplish. I mean, so many things. I was just sitting there with Stephanie girl and just thinking, I mean, we have built schools, we have hospitals. I mean, I'm sure there are thousands of people today in this country who has got eyesight because of Voice. We have distributed, I think, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 spectacles, you know, giving sight to people. And so the list just keeps going on. And so the desire has always been to help another, because I think most of the people who are here, we have gone through not having a pair of shoes to wear. I remember going for dancers school times, and suddenly some fellow comes and tells me, when I'm dancing with somebody, hey, you are wearing my trouser. And that's true. And it's the most embarrassing thing that you are feeling hungry. So those life experiences have helped us to do what we are doing, Marlon.
So I believe life experiences does help us and change us also. Moses, a question for you will be, in this journey of the Voice Foundation and having all of these challenges of going to different locations and helping people and sleepless nights, long drives. I mean, there must have come a point where you thought, I'm going to stop this, I'm going to quit, or I can't do it anymore. But you have still gone on. What gave you the encouragement, or what pushed you forward to keep doing what you do?
See, as I said, many of you are aware about who I am and what I've gone through. So, one of the things that I always think is, I'll add this part also to this question, where sometimes people think that, because we are related to church and all that, we try to take this message forward and so on, but it's not. As I always say, humanity comes first. You are a human first, and then whatever the religion that you belong to, or whatever the caste or creed that you belong to. So looking at answering for your question, I would say, what I went through with life, many times I remember, coming out of the orphanage at the age of 17, 18, I didn't have a place to go. I was in a bus stand for 3 nights and wondering what's next in life. So that's where I thought of leaving Kandy and all that and coming to Colombo and, do something with my life rather than worrying about what's not happening and what is not right and so many unanswerable questions. So that has helped me to do all what I'm doing right now. And yes, I mean, not a point where I thought of giving up or, stopping what I'm doing, because I always thought if someone helped me to be who I am, I was not a person like this, like you said, a good friend or, whatever. I was a nasty person, to be honest, who gets angry, who would not have longer relationships with people, because I don't blame myself for that, but, it's the upbringing, I would say, having grown up in a lifestyle, which is a scheduled lifestyle. You wake up at a certain time, then next morning thing is to eat, and then, study, play, sleep, eat. This is the routine for 17 years. And when you are exposed suddenly to people and to communities, you are faced with a challenge. I'm sure if you are a caregiver from an orphanage or a childcare institution, this would be a very familiar story that I'm telling. So, but Pastor Dishan had faith in me. I hope he still has faith in me. Helped me to be who I am. I stayed at his house for 7 years. De Silva is his surname. I borrowed it for a while from him. So I go as Moses Akash De Silva. I even don't have a surname. But, this is how the life has been. So I enjoy doing what I do, because I've seen people change, from bad to better. And also the best part about traveling, you get to travel to many places some of you have never been to, I enjoy traveling. The longest that I've traveled is in 2 days, I've gone 1,300 kilometers by myself, driving, distributing tabs and all. You get to go to beautiful places in the country and enjoy. So, yeah.
Right. My question to you is, on a corporate level, how can voice be a part? How can voice actually help, or what impact would voice have, since you've come from the corporate sector?
I think let me start this way. The beauty of voice is we have only 4 staff, only 4 paid staff, and they're not paid, they're very underpaid. We are a beautiful case study for any corporate. As you saw, 13 kitchens, 24 locations, seamless operation. Supply chain, distribution, delivery, you name the words in management, we have that all working to deliver the food on time. And this is just planned in the mind. We don't have a strategy board or anything like that. So we are a beautiful case study, but we have a passion, we have a heart. We want to do something. We want to impact the nation, and we want to transform. So from a corporate perspective, every corporate has CSR. They also are good citizens who want to do something. And we are inviting corporates. We are very grassroots level. Really, we are grassroots. We go find the poorest of the poor to help out. We go to the people who really need something that they desire so badly and they can't find. So for a corporate, the biggest help, of course, is to partner with us, stand with us. Voice as a foundation doesn't have any international ties. We are not sponsored by any NGO. We honestly don't have staff who know how to even do a proposal, but we are working on it. So as a corporate, if you see what we do, you like what we do, and you believe that we are impacting, and truly the word transformation and change is happening through us, please support us, sit with us. For us, the name doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who does it as long as people receive what they desire and they need. So the doors are open. We are very friendly. We love ideas. We love your thinking. We are looking for partnerships. Whatever it be. You want to send a group of volunteers to work? Hey, that's the biggest thing you can do. You want to fund us? That's even better. You want to give us an idea? Great. Whatever you're giving us, we'll take it open with open arms. So we are kind of, reaching out to all of Sri Lanka, all of overseas. Try us out once. And I think the joy of working with Voice will be like never before, unlike you've experienced anywhere else.
Wonderful. Right, so my questions are done. I think it's time to open the questions for any one of you guys to, ask them something and see what their thoughts are. Does anybody have a question for them? You can raise your hand like school days. No questions means, everything is fine. I understand exactly what they're doing. I'm going to stand with them. I'm going to support them. I'm going to run with them. I agree to everything they're saying. So no questions means that. Are we all agreeing to this? All right, wonderful. So I believe everyone here is going to stand with the Voice and support us. Over to Moses.
So once again, we want to thank all of you for supporting and all the corporates who are here today. If you to name, there's many, so I'm not going to name all the corporates individually, but thank you very much for standing with us, not just for community kitchens, but overall. We started Voice as a government-registered entity in 2017. Ever since then, for a year, we support over 35,000 families for a year. So there are companies who has partnered with us to sponsor 35,000 families at a time. Likewise, in different projects, we have education centers. We have 11 education centers, one in Kataragama Temple, one in Dambulla Temple, one in Matale Temple, one in Katugastota. Likewise, in different locations, supporting the youth and the children with English and IT, because what we have seen is, the demand is so high, and there's a lot of job opportunities in Sri Lanka. We work with a particular company called expressjobs.lk. If you log into it, you could see there's 30,000 plus job vacancies in the country. Unfortunately, the requirements or the qualifications that they are requesting aren't there with the people, so they are not able to fulfill those job vacancies. So what we want to do with our education centers is such that we want to support them and so on. And also we have elders homes. We have a shelter for underprivileged children, single mothers, which is headed by Rebecca. As she said, the stories of these children are, if you hear those, you will be traumatized, to be honest, because it's so hard to take. Recently I'm not going to mention who this person is, but there was this one particular single mother who came to the community kitchen, and she was begging on the street with her 6-year-old child. And we asked why you do all these things and with her child and all that. And she came here and said that, her husband has gone with her sister, leaving the child with 6 months old child and her, and there's no way for her to buy milk powder for her child. Therefore, she decided to come and stand near the Kiel supermarket. So that's how we got to meet her. Likewise, there's plenty of stories. Some of the volunteers that comes and helps to us. There was this one gentleman. He came to the community kitchen since the first day and was asking us, is there a job vacancy? Can you find a job and all that? And we happened to talk to him, and he said, I don't have my mother and father. My mother died, and she was a pool attendant or something like that. And then when he went and the message went to the father also died on the spot with a stroke. Immediately he lost his parents, and now he's finding a job and also. These are kind of people who come to our community kitchens and who also serve at these community kitchens. This is not a thing that we do to raise funds, or it's not a thing that we want to do. This is primarily a crisis responding situation that we are into. So that is the reason. And also we have widows empowerment centers, sewing centers to support widows, and so many projects under the slogan Voice Foundation to create a better Sri Lanka with better Sri Lankans. If you look at here in this audience also, most of you are, apart from one gentleman, I'm sure, most of you are from Sri Lanka who is supporting. I always believe in this statement, and I always say this: I am very proud to be a Sri Lankan. I call myself Sri Lankan wherever I go, whatever I do, because I am very proud. No matter what happens in our country, no matter where we are right now, as a nation, I'm a proud Sri Lankan because we have stood up with all the crises that we have gone through. Let it be the war, the tsunami, or whatever crisis, floods or whatever, we Sri Lankans have stood up with each other. That is the strength that we have as a nation, as countrymen. We have stood up. Even right now, with this community kitchen, 20 million worth dry rations, worth food has been distributed within a span of 100 days, which is not an easy thing, which you all could have easily stayed at home and enjoy your meal and say, that's fine. But no, you all have selected to come join with us. Some of you are coming to our community kitchen on weekly basis and cooking and all that, with all the situations that we are through, yet you have selected to come and help us. Some of the corporates, when businesses are down, when there's nothing happening, yet you have chosen to support these community kitchens, providing hundreds of thousands of worth dry rations, food, let it be whatever. So I just want to thank you all again. And also I want to introduce the newest initiative that we are planning to start. If you look at the screen, you could see the slides. I'm going to go through these slides. The newest project. Before I introduce, if you look at our country's context with regards to education, since March 2019, 2020, the schools haven't been functioning properly for up until last week. The pandemic, the COVID pandemic, and then different situations. The education system hasn't, properly functioning for many 18 months or more. Also, with regards to the rural villages and so on, we have this one girl that we are sponsoring. She has sat for her A-levels and had her results also, but she is the only girl from her entire generation. She is from Ambilipitia. She is the only girl from her entire generation who has studied for A-levels. Now she lives in a place, her father is a security guard who looked after a banana field. This father has to go there every day in the night around 8 o'clock, and he comes back at 6 o'clock in the morning. So she is 16 when she was doing her O-levels. So they requested us to support. And this girl, apart from the education that she gets from the school, she goes for a tuition class where she have to walk 5 kilometers to the tuition class and back home another 5 kilometers. So 10 kilometers for a day she has to walk for extracurricular activities, or to get more knowledge about what she's doing and to be prepared for her A-levels. So few months later, we got this message that she has sent us a message and said, don't send the money for next 3 months. Don't send the money. Class salli ewan depa sir. Mata class yanna vidiyak naha. So we asked her why and what. Then she said, mama kilometer 5ක් 10ක් හැමදාම ඇවිදින නිසා මගේ ධනියේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා, because I walk for 10 kilometers daily up and down. There's a situation there, doctors have advised me not to walk, because if I walk more, I won't be able to walk for the entire life. මට ඇවිදින්න එපා කියලා තියෙනවා, මගේ ධනියත් එක්ක මගේ කකුල් යටිපතුල් ඉදිමෙනවා. ඒක නිසා ડોක්ටර් මට කිව්වා මාස 3ක් රෙස්ට් කරන්න, මට ක්ලාස් යන්න බැරි නිසා මම මේ සල්ලි ගන්නෙ නැහැ. So this is what we are. If you go back to the first slide, අපි පළවෙනි slide එකට යන්. The effects on education. Schools have been largely dysfunctional for over 16 months since the initial shutdown in March 2020. Now the effects of this is as you could see, 48%. This is in 2019. Only 48% of Sri Lankan households with school-age children owned a smartphone or a computer. Only 48% of Sri Lankan had a smartphone or a computer. And imagine you are a family with 4 members, 2 children, mother and father. You only have 1 mobile phone in your family. You are compelled to study online or whatever ways. How difficult. I'm sure some of you who are here also must have gone through this situation. So this is the effects on education because of the lockdown and the pandemic. 34% had internet connections in 2000. In 2019, only 34% had internet connections to do online studies. 2020 also showed that while around 45% of students were reached online, only 4% used advanced platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or such. Only 4% of children were able to. So think about the remaining 51% of children. What has happened to these 49% of children had some opportunity of studying online, but 51% of children have been left alone, or could I say, the loads of WhatsApp messages, the amount of study materials and things that they got through WhatsApp. I'm sure මෙතන ඉන්න ඔබ හැම කෙනෙක්ම සමහරට දෙමාපියෙක් විදියට මේ උගලට ඔබත් ආවෙන්න ඇති ටීචර්ස්ලා සබ්ජෙක්ට්ස් 8ක් තියෙනවා ඉස්කෝලේ you get 101 messages මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකේ මේ assignments මේක WhatsApp message එකකට තමයි එන්නේ. So it was a situation where this education thing has gone missing. The key issues that we have faced is, one is the next slide you can see, ඊළඟ slide එක අපි බලමු. Pedagogy, the meaning of pedagogy is the method of teaching. See, suddenly we were in a lockdown in March 2020 and suddenly the government, not even the government, it was selected by the teachers, said, "Api online igana gamu." No one knows how to conduct an online class. The pedagogy, the meaning of pedagogy is the method of teaching, the way of teaching. So you to teach online and you to teach to a real audience, it's 2 different things. But these teachers didn't have any experience of such, and the dropout number of school children or children who were attending online classes were very high. And the logistics, in terms of logistics, what I'm saying is, some of the places they didn't have mobile signal. So I'm sure you must have seen on news and all children climbing onto a rock or to some place to get some signal so that they could do online studies, and also parental guidance. Now I had this parent, another child that we are sponsoring for her A-level. This mother has no clue about WhatsApp. She, with all due respect, I'm saying this, she said, "Mage daruwa me WhatsApp ekේ තමයි වැඩ කරන්නේ." I'm like, "What's that?" To be honest, I thought it's a new app that was introduced. I said, "WhatsApp කියන්නේ මොකද්ද?" She was referring to WhatsApp. This is how alien they are to these kind of things. So a lot of parents, they don't own a smartphone, so they don't know how to use WhatsApp and Viber. So there was no parental guidance on this factor, and we have also seen a lot of issues that they have faced because of these online studies and misuse of WhatsApp and all that. So, and also the fuel crisis, the recent newest crisis is the fuel crisis. Because of the fuel crisis, the government has decided to function schools only for 3 days. So imagine all these things, and your child is supposed to go to school, and as a parent, the challenge that you all have to go through, or you are going through, or some of the people who are going through this crisis. So we have seen an 18 months gap in between current situations and the lockdown, the beginning of the lockdown, that gap of education, the lack of support these children have. So therefore we decided, once again, as an organization who always strive to create a better Sri Lanka by creating better Sri Lankans, we thought of, okay, right, there's a situation, and how can we help this crisis? So here is the latest project, School on Wheels. It's a very, next slide, it's a very simple thing. As you could see, next slide, as you could see, the method is very simple. You could read School on Wheels. It's a concept developed to help the children who have lost opportunity to study in school, online and tuition classes. We aim to support the children who have less or no facilities for such, and who are challenged with education. The method is very simple. We convert a bus into a mobile classroom. You remove the seats and you fix tables inside, and here you get a mobile classroom where you could reach to the unreached. I'm speaking about villages such as Kabitigollava, Atha Vetunuava, Koka Vetunuava. I am sure you must have not heard these names also. There are villages existing like that. Madavachia, Kakirava, such villages, Vaunia. So there are many places where, if you ask, even our coordinators, they would say sometimes the children, we know a village in Batiklo, in the vicinity of Batiklo, the school that is functioning in this particular village it's only a primary school. They don't have, so none of these people from this village have completed their O-levels. The next school for them is 27 kilometers away. So if you pass primary school, what do? Stay at home. So there's a huge crisis in this village where these children get married at the age of 13, 14, 15, they have children, and that's about it. They go for fishing, and this is how this village is functioning. So here is a great opportunity where we are thinking of, instead of bringing them to us, we are planning to reach to them. It's a very simple method, school on wheels. This is the concept where we convert a bus into a classroom. The benefit of this is you don't need to pay key money, you don't need to pay rentals, you don't need to pay utility bills, light, electricity, water, nothing. You just go and park the bus wherever you want, wherever the space is available, you conduct a class. 25 children can be seated at a time in a class with modern facilities. We have a gentleman from ESOFT. I hope that you are hearing my message, fixing modern computers and so on, and getting these rural children the experience of education, experience of proper education. The next slide. The objectives: support school-going children with the missing piece of the puzzle. The missing piece of the puzzle is what I mentioned, last 18 months they have missed school. So there's a huge gap. What we want to aim right now is to support the O-level and A-level students with free classes and cover up the education gap which has been happening for last 18 months. One, by doing revision classes so that they can cover up whatever that has been missing, and also pass papers. And workshops on fundamentals, basic English fundamentals, maths, whatever, subjects, the fundamentals, because we aren't expecting to conduct longer term classes, but, facilitating and empowering these children, in short term so that they can be prepared. And also in long term support educational for underprivileged students who have less or no opportunity for online studies, and also to conduct online classes, and also for children to attend online classes. One is to conduct online classes where we have 11 education centers. So most of these children can be connected via Wi-Fi and all that to conduct online classes. And also for the remote villages, as I said, only 45% own a smartphone, and if you have one phone, the father takes it to work. Children have to wait until the father comes back to get the homework. So this is how the situation is. So here is a platform where we are planning. And the last part of the project is the good news. Next slide. We have already budgeted the whole project, and we are in the process. I'm not going to read out this, but the basic thing is to get a bus converted and all that. It would cost us 3 million in Sri Lankan rupees. Mr. Kevin, it's nothing. 3 million is nothing. So, බය වෙන්න එපා. ලංකාවේ ඩොලර් එක ගණන් ගිහිලා තියෙන නිසා 3 million කිව්වම ලොකු ගාණක් නෙමෙයි. So, to convert a basic bus into a classroom, it will cost us around 3 million. But imagine the impact that we can make to support these children. The next slide. And the good news is that we have already found 2 buses. A gentleman who is willing to sell these 2 buses, both buses for 3 million. You heard me. It's 3 million for both buses, so which is 1.5 million for one bus. These 2 buses, we have paid 100,000 and reserved these 2 buses, hoping after this project, someone from somewhere will say, right, let's do this. So 2 buses, the previous picture that you saw, අපි කලින් slide එකට පොඩ්ඩක් යන්න පුළුවන්ද බස් එකේ? The previous slide that you saw was the converted bus. Artwork that it's not, we still don't own this bus, but this is how it's going to be, this is how it's going to look. So the 2 buses are available. This gentleman has agreed to help us. So I'm encouraging once again, if you are willing to partner with us, the details are there. Antima slide එකට අපි යමු. The details are there. You could reach us or you could speak to any of us after this gathering, and let's get together. As I said, I'm very proud to stand here at this podium this afternoon and say that, we as Sri Lankans, we have achieved 100,000 meals for last 100 days because of the support that you all have extended. As I always say, it's a very easy thing for us to stay at home and, say someone else would do this. But you all have selected. So the details are there. If you are willing to partner with us, not just financially, but we also need volunteer teachers, dedicated volunteer teachers, and so on. So this is the newest project that we want to introduce. And in winding up, I also want to thank all the corporates who are here today, who have accepted our invitation. It's a Poya Day, holiday, once again, where you could have stayed easily at home, but you have selected to come and join hands with us. And also for every individual sponsor who is watching us online and also who have supported us. I want to thank all of you for joining hands with us, and for every cent, every rupee, every dollar that you have donated us. You heard the coordinators, you heard what they were saying, and I'm sure you are happy to know that your donations have gone to the right hand, to the right people. So again, I want to thank all the corporates, all the individual sponsors, and also all the volunteers who are here, who are not here, who have come even for an hour to support any of our community kitchens. Not for you, this would have been possible, because 100 days non-stop, all 5 days of the week. Now last Friday in our Rajagiriya community kitchen, we had 420 people coming to eat. Today we were serving, there was a church function and they were serving lunch, and suddenly we saw a few people standing in the queue. Mahatya adat community kitchen තියනවාද? Mahatya adat කණ්ඩ දෙනවාද? I said, මේ ගෙදර දුවනවා අද කණ්ඩ දෙන්නේ නැහැ. But the desperateness of them for food, food, the hunger. I've gone through hunger many years. Like my brother said, hunger is very common. So once again, thank you very much for all the support that you have extended in terms of financing, in terms of dry rations, in terms of volunteering. We want to thank all of you. Last but not least, can we give our coordinators, the community kitchen coordinators, a round of applause once again? මයිලා සිටින ඒගොල්ලන්ට පොඩ්ඩක් නැගිට සිටින්න කියලා. The people who are sitting in the center table, Ashok, Vishwa, Ravi John, Susil, Amali, Dr. Amali, අපේ වවුනියාවේ ඉඳලා ඇවිල්ලා ඉන්න කට්ටිය, ඒ ඔක්කොම මීගමුවේ අපේ නිශාන්, ඒ හැම කෙනෙක්ම අපි අපේ මගේ සහෝදරයා ඉන්දික නමුත් පැටලෙනවා. All of them, let's give them a round of applause one more time. Thank you very much. ඔබ මගෙත් එක්ක Voice Foundation එක හිටගත්ත නිසා ඔබත් මමත් එකතු වෙලා ලක්ෂයක් දෙනෙක්ට කණ්ඩ අපි දුන්නා. මැරුණා මිනිස්සු පහුගිය දවස්වල කණ්ඩ නැතුව. සමහර අම්මලා දරුවව ගඟට විසික් කරා මට කණ්ඩ දෙන්න විදියක් නැති නිසා. සමහර තාත්තලා පාංගුයි වතුරයි කාලා දරා ගන්න බැරි නිසා ජීවිත හානි කරගත්ත නුඹත් ඔබත් මමත් අපි මේ කණ්ඩායමම එකතු වෙලා ලක්ෂයක් දෙනෙකුගේ ජීවිත අපිට බේරගන්න හැකියාව ලැබුණා පහුගිය දවස් 100 නිසා. නැවත වරක් බොහොම ස්තුතියි, ඔබට වාඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Once again, I want to thank all of you. In winding up, we want to take you on a road trip of a community kitchen. So the food is being prepared outside. අද දවසේ අපි ඔබට experience එකක් දෙන්න යනවා මොකද්ද community kitchen එකේ වෙන්නේ කියන එක. So what's going to happen is the food is being prepared outside. උයලා තියෙන්නේ අපේ community kitchen එකේ අපේ අයිරානි මහත්මිය පොඩ්ඩක් නැගිටින්න පුළුවන්ද? මම එයාවත් මතක් කරන්න ඕනේ. දවස් 100ක් හැමදාම කමියුනිටි කිචන් එකේ රාජකීය 300කට කෑම ඉව්වේ ප්‍රධාන සූපවේදිනිය ඇය තමයි. අපි ඇයට උදව් කරපු එක තමයි කරේ. thank you very much. දවස් 100ක් 300කට වෙනවා කියන එක මම දන්නේ නැහැ කොහොමද කියන එක. දැන් මමත් chef කෙනෙක්. I also can cook because we've been attending this community kitchen for long. So we want to take you on a tour of a community kitchen. ඕගලන් හැම කෙනෙකුටම token එකක් හම්බ වෙයි. Feel free to be, hang around here for next 10 minutes, speak to the people. When you feel hungry or when you want to eat, එළිය අපි community kitchen එකේ දාන විදියටම අපි ඔබට ප්‍රණීත ආහාර වේලක් මේ කෑම එක අපි community kitchen එකේ දෙන්නේ නැහැ. We don't serve this food because it's over 200 rupees. But we have thought of you. අපේ කවුද Mr. Pubudu? හොඳ කෑම එකක් හදලා තියෙනවා. Thank you very much. ඔබ හැම කෙනෙක්ම අපි දක්වන සහයෝගය ඒ කණ්ඩායම නෝ ලංකා ආයතනයේ අපි කීපයක් මම කියන්නේ ඔක්කොමලා ඔබ උදව් කරලා තියෙනවා. වත්තල කමියුනිටි කිචන් එක දින මාස 3ක් තිස්සේ නෝ ලංකා ආයතනය නොකඩව ස්පොන්සර් කරලා තියෙනවා 200කට 210කට 100ක් ඒක ඔහුන් තමයි උදව් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. පුබුදු මහත්මයාත් එම්ම මැතිනියත් උදේ 4ට නැගිටලා ඩෙසර්ට් හදාගෙන එනවා. ඕගලන්ට හොඳට කන්න ඕන දවසක් නම් ඒගොල්ලන් ස්පොන්සර් කරන දවස මගෙන් අහගන්න එදාට එන්න වටලප්පන් ජෙලි මේ වගේ ඩෙසර්ට් එකක් දෙනවා. මේ මිනිස්සු සමහර වෙලාවට කිව්ව එකක් තමයි එක අංකල් කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා කිව්වා මහත්තයා මං චිකන් කෑවේ මාස 3කට පස්සෙලු චිකන් කෑල්ලක්වත් දැක්කේ නෑලු. තව එක අම්මා කෙනෙක් ආවා අපි රයිස් කුකර් එකේ දම්කුඩු ටික විසික් කරන්න අපි ලෑස්ති වෙලා පෙඟෙන්න දාලා තිබ්බේ. එයා ඇවිල්ලා කිව්වා මොනවද මේ කරන්නේ කියලා. ඉතින් මොනවද කරන්නේ මේක විසික් කරන්න යන්නේ. මේ ටික දාලා දෙන්න මම දවස් 3කින් බත් ඇටයක්වත් දැක්කේ නෑ. මම මේක රැයට කන්න අරන් යනවා. So these are kind of desperate people. So thank you once again and God bless you. ඔබට බොහොම ස්තුතියි. අපි ඔබට සුබ පතනවා. We hope that you will help us to continue for another 100 days because අපි දවස් 100ක් ඇවිල්ලා ටිකක් අභියෝගාත්මක අවස්ථාවක ඉන්නවා with funds being less because I understand. I mean serving 1,900 2,000 people for a day, it costs a lot and you all have helped us and we hope that we'll find more sponsors in coming days to continue this project. So hang around and talk to each other and when you feel hungry or when you want to eat, even now you can go and have your meals. Serve කරන්න කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලන් ඔයගලන්ට බෙදලා දෙයි. And there's chairs set up outside. So you can sit on one of those chairs and have a meal, a delicious meal. Enjoy and taste our Miss Irani's food and let's have a good time. Thank you very much. And also to remind you, if you have seen this brochure, this is a brief information about what Voice Foundation and who we are. And also there's a small card inside which says Pledge 2022, which I'm not asking you to fill because you all have already helped us. So, but take this message. If you need more brochures, we have. The request that I want to make you is that, 35,000 families for a year. You heard the stories, and there's plenty of stories that we want to bring, but because of the time factor, we don't. Connect people, connect companies, connect corporates, connect individuals locally and overseas, and let's create a better Sri Lanka with better Sri Lankans. Thank you. Have a good night. ඔබට රැඳී සිටින්න පුළුවන්. අපි ඔබට කමියුනිටි කිචන් එකක අත්දැකීමක් දෙන්න යනවා. කතා බහ කරන්න ඔබට ටෝකන් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ ටෝකන් එක අරන් එළියෙන් කෑම